What is up, everybody? This is your host again, Limitless, back with another episode of Limitless Talks. As usual, you already know what it is. This is that show where we talk about politics, economics, and propaganda. You understand what I'm saying? Peace, love, and light to every single one of you listening in out there. You already know what it is. Let's not waste too much time. Let's jump right in. Let's see what's new, what's on the horizon, and what to expect. You understand? So, obviously, the funny articles, because when you look at the funny articles, again, I don't know how you guys perceive some of these articles, but uh, we all need to get to a point where we can differentiate between, the articles that's actually keeping us up to date in regards to what's going on, and articles that just out there just for the fun of it, like they're just taking the piss. You understand what I'm saying? So this one here, we got mother opens up about being virtually gang raped in metaverse. Yeah, I had to pause too when I read it. I was just like, huh? Like, she could have taken the headset off. I don't even know why, they'd write something like this. If not, to plant certain seeds in the minds of the masses. So again, it's all bollocks, really. You understand? So, moving on. Next, we've got unvaccinated health staff are irresponsible, but it's our failure if we can't reach them. Again, guys, it's just like, okay, why do a U-turn on the mandate and then release an article trying to shame people? Ag- I, I don't even care. You understand what I'm saying? And I think anyone out there who's not going along with the agenda should actually look at these things and see it for exactly what it is. It's retardness going on. That's just the only thing to say. Mental midgets, literally. These people are just they're stupid. They're stupid. So they want to make sure that that stupidness rubs up off on us as well. Anyways, guys, before we move on, let's hit the intro very quickly and then jump back in. Welcome back, everyone. This is your host again, Limitless. Um, Remember, guys, share with your friends, family, loved ones, your haters, wherever they may be. Remember to like, share, subscribe. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's important that we understand how the world works. Politics, economics, and propaganda, very, very crucial. We gotta understand who's talking about what, when, how it's gonna happen, because a lot of those go on in the political arena. You understand what I'm saying? They hint us exactly what's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. All we have to do is pay attention. So moving on, let's have a quick look at the market. Currently, as we can see, we've got the dollar down. Of course, the market moves up because that's exactly what happens. It means more money has been printed, dumped into the market, which of course devalues the dollar. It's the same thing, guys. They want to keep telling us that quantitative easing and these things they're doing is not affecting the market. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We know all they're doing is they're pumping free money into the market. They printing money on behalf of the public, and they just dumping it into these corporations. And who's gonna benefit from it? Yes, the private stakeholders, the shareholders, those are the people that's going to benefit from it. The US stock market, we can see it's a lovely, nice green day, of course, and we've got oil down. Guys, we can expect oil to go way, way higher than this. You understand what I'm saying? If for whatever reason we go into another major lockdown, guys, 100% you can be guaranteed the price of oil per barrel will go past $100 per barrel. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for. And of course, it's a nice commodity to have in your portfolio. You know, that goes without saying. You understand? That with gold, silver, you know, those are good, and the tech stocks, those are good assets to have in your portfolio. And we'll look over in Europe as well, as usual. Again, this have an effect, you know, globally. So as you can see here, um, right there, it's a green day. It's a green day, and you look in Asia as well. Asia in particular haven't been affected much with all the crap that's going on, because we understand that in terms of the new digital economy, Asia is way far ahead in comparison to the West. Asia is 10 years ahead easily. You understand what I'm saying? So let's keep an eye on these things, and so we know exactly which direction the market is moving. So looking at the bonds, as you can see, uh, the rates are fairly flat, not much major changes. However, they've been dipped down a bit again, which is what's contributing to the uptrend we're seeing in the market right now. You understand? So keep an eye on the bond rates, and of course they give you an indicator on which direction the market will move. All right, moving on to the Bank of England. Again, we'd like to look at this just to see if there's any update, but so far there's no update. But we know they're gonna be meeting soon, so we'll see what they're gonna come out with from their meeting uh, in a day's time or so. So let's just leave that right there. Moving on. Right, this data right here is Bank of England's balance sheet. However, the way they've put this balance sheet together, it doesn't it doesn't really what do you call it, make much sense to me. I need to spend more time to have a look at these in more details. But we'll have a look at U.S. Central Bank, which is known as the Federal Reserve. Let's have a quick look at their balance sheet. Let's have a quick look at the trends first of all. So right now, if you look at the total asset of the Federal Reserve, if you look at the trend line, you can see right here since 2008, which is like the last financial crisis we had, which is when they introduced quantitative easing. You can see the Feds have been increasing their balance sheet, meaning they've been purchasing assets non-stop. And we're talking about security-backed assets. You understand what I'm saying? Like mortgages, security-backed loans and stuff like that. And as you can see, in 2014, they kind of flatlined up until about 2017, 2018, thereabout. And we had a little dip. And then fast forward to 2019, you can see right there, it went parabolic. It just shot up. You understand what I'm saying? And what we're seeing right now, they are not going to stop. Based on what we're seeing, the Fed have been talking about tapering the balance sheet, meaning reducing the amount of assets they've got on the balance sheet, the value. But what have they done so far? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They haven't done anything about it. So, based off of that, all we can anticipate is that they're gonna continue to print money. So let's look at the selected assets of the Federal Reserve. So right here, you've got total assets. So right there, that's pretty much what we just have a look at. And if you look at securities held outright, so here, this is like, the assets that are backed by a tangible security behind it. So as you can see, that is keeping up right well with the overall balance sheet value, which is which is mainly what they're after, really. They're after the properties and all the real estate out there. They don't really care about anything else. You know, as we all know, they're trying to wipe out the middle class. They're trying to create uh, that system whereby the people are completely depending on the government. And what do we know about that? That's a communistic system which never ever ends well for anyone. You just have to look in history. Communism has never ended well. It has never ended well, and this time around will not be the same. You understand what I'm saying? Sorry, this time around will not be any different. So that's uh that's one thing to watch out for on that aspect. And one of the things I want to show you here, so this is a breakdown of their balance sheet. This was released Thursday, January 27, 2022. So Federal Reserve statistical release, and just down here is the juicy part. Right here, you've got maturity distribution of securities, loans, and selected other assets and liabilities. And if you look right here, currently the U.S. Treasury securities holdings in total, they're holding over 5 trillion in balance sheet. Look at that, 5 trillion. You can't make this shit up, guys. 5 trillion, and every week they're adding about 22 billion to this balance sheet. You can't make it up. 22 billion plus on a weekly basis they add into this balance sheet. So if they're still adding 22 billion, meaning everything we've seen so far with the market is nothing but a correction. As long as the Federal Reserve keep printing and keep buying asset, hey, the market's gonna stay afloat. And the crazy part is we might even rally up further to see new all-time highs, because they're not gonna stop until the dollar index drops to probably, I don't know, 30 30%. Who knows when they'll stop? But that's just something we need to keep an eye out for. And if you look down here, mortgage backed securities holding, you'll see they're holding 2.6 trillion in mortgage backed securities. On the weekly changes, we can see that's reducing by 25 billion. So as we can see here, they this is how they've managed to sort of let out some air in the balance sheet, which is why we're seeing the market correct a little bit, but it's nothing major. It's nothing major at all, because when you look at the overall balance sheet, they're still adding 22.87 billion on a daily basis. Sorry, on a weekly basis. And if you look at that, there's not much difference to really make any significant uh, difference to the market. Meaning, we're not in a bear market. We're just not in a bear market. You understand? It's just I wouldn't call it a healthy correction. It's a prop fake correction, whatever, however you want to call this market we've got right now. One thing we all need to understand is it's absolutely ridiculously manipulated, and we all need to pay attention to that. So let's look at the market data dashboard. So as you can see, on Wednesday, February 2nd, this is how much they've printed: 1.6 trillion, which is gonna mature on Thursday, February. Guys, we need to pay attention. They keep printing money. if they were gonna start tapering, they would stop printing money. But they haven't stopped. They haven't started tapering yet. They're saying they're gonna taper, but they haven't. They need inflation to run wild, and it is gonna run wild. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna push the market to the absolute edge. But hey, as long as we're in the market making some of this money, we can convert it into hard assets. You understand what I'm saying? We can purchase other things that we can leverage against inflation. You understand? So, uh, moving on to some more interesting stuff going on. We've got lockdowns imposed enormous economic and social cost. We know that already. Had little to no public health effect, new Hopkins study finds. And if you look down here, it says lockdowns have had little to no effect on COVID-19 mortality. Exactly, because it's a bogus pandemic. We know that. They always create a distraction for the masses while they're, busy running the money through the back door. You understand what I'm saying? They're not just gonna outright say, "Oh, we're destroying the economy." And anyone, no, nobody's stupid. All right, you just have to look at the numbers, grab your calculator, do a bit of maths. It's not hard to see that they're bullshitting. It's all cap. You understand what I'm saying? More specifically, stringency index studies find that lockdowns in Europe and the United States only reduce COVID-19 mortality by 0.2% on average. It's not making no change. However, the change that it is making is it's affecting the economy on a grand scale. Supply chains have been totally disrupted. The job market is tumbling, but of course, they keep reporting to us all these fake figures, even though we know the figures are fake. You see, whenever the government say, uh, uh, so let's say the government say, oh, we lost 2 billion. It's safe to multiply that by 5. You understand what I'm saying? It's it's just safe to multiply it by 5. You get me? So yeah, uh, that's something to note on it, on that side. Next, we've got all the world's Bitcoin can only pay 2.43% of the 30 trillion US national debt. I don't even know why anyone would make such comparison right now when we know it's still early stage for the crypto market. You understand what I'm saying? It's early days. The market is less than the market ain't even touched 3 trillion market cap. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't even make any sense to be comparing that with the with an economy that's been running for almost 300 years. You understand what I'm saying? The crypto market is only what about a decade old or thereabout. You understand? So that's a bit of a silly comparison there, in my opinion. Moving on, we've got US to move 3,000 troops closer to Ukraine as Russia crisis escalates. Guys, what do we know? We know the distraction is coming. The distraction is coming. They're gonna create a reason for them to run this money through the back door. They always gotta create a reason. That's why a lot of the distraction they've got set up, we need to pay attention and you know keep following things. Next, we've got UK government plans 6 billion loan scheme to protect households from soaring energy bills. Anyone that understands the system, that looked into it, researched it, know exactly what's going on. We know every single year there's a financial budget. You understand? And each financial budget accounts for uh, both goods and services each and every single person within the country is going to need for that financial year. and they put a budget together, and that's the amount of money they print and dump into the economy. In essence, what I'm saying is all these things have been paid for on your behalf. Literally, literally. All these natural resources that we use to create all the things that we do, because it's all coming out of the ground, right? The very, very first input is coming out of the ground, and we all own it. Of course, they'll want to make us think, oh, you don't own it, the government is in charge, blah, blah, blah. No, we, 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 the people, we created the government. You understand? And and as such, the government answers to us. So this 6 billion being going into energy companies, these guys will still turn around and still charge us ridiculous price for energy bills. You understand what I'm saying? The system is criminal. The system is just criminal, and we need to understand that it's criminal. Moving on. We've got exclusive. Ripple causes up to UK regulators amid global payment push. We understand that Ripple's agenda is to capture the international uh, payment market. That's all. That's all they are after. Ripple wants to capture the central bank businesses because, hey, it's those are the big boys. So we know for Ripple, as long as their agenda is still to create this platform for all these central bank to come on to operate on, you know, of course it makes sense for them to want to get close to all these different governments around the world and help them shape policies and regulations to put their mind at ease that the technology is going to work exactly the way they're presenting it. And one thing we know is a lot of these things as well, it's like they're playing games with us. It's like mind games. They already know what they're gonna do. We know crypto, blockchain, all of that's the future. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about industry 4.0. So we know in the end they're gonna give in, and we know Ripple spends significant amount of money lobbying government. And when we say lobby, bribing, but hey, let's not call it that. Lobbying is what they say. Nah, fuck that. Bribe. It's bribe. Moving on. We've got Modular and Ripple announces strategic partnership to enable seamless payment into the UK and Europe. We know Ripple's again, they're after that cross-border payment. That's what Ripple is after, nothing else. Cross-border payment. It's a huge market. You understand what I'm saying? And whichever financial technology company is able to capture, a significant market share, hey, they're gonna win. And another thing to note from that, if you look down here, Modular is authorized and regulated by the FCA as an electronic money institution, and so can issue Great Britain pound accounts with dedicated account numbers and sort code. As a direct participant of the faster payments and back schemes, they hold and settle funds at the Bank of England, providing reliability and security for users. So again, you can see Ripple's already making friends closer to the people that control the money within the UK's economy. So this right here makes perfect sense. Getting cozy. You understand what I'm saying? They are getting cozy. Because what do we know? Again, they want to capture the market out here. Next, British Pound Foundation. I was going through this, found a couple of interesting articles. Guys, go on here. Everything is like in one place for you. It lets you understand exactly, what's going on globally, worldwide, out there, especially in terms of the financial payment infrastructure. So here we've got BIS Innovation Hub to focus on CBDC payments, DeFi, and green finance in 2022 work programs. So again, guys, we know last year they laid the foundation. 2022 they need to build on top of that. Forget the technology. They're not just when they're talking about these things. We're not talking about just building the or developing the technology. That's been done. That's complete. Blockchain's been about since the early 2000, early 90s 2000. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, they're just building the use cases. They're building the infrastructures. Hence, why again the the scamdemic is here, because another thing is there's no money in the system, so they can't just outright tell you that we're giving you invincible money. It's not even. It's no longer even gonna be cash. It's just gonna be crypto. You understand what I'm saying? And we need to understand. Yes, we're investing in crypto, but this technology, they're gonna use it for wickedness. Again, this could bring a lot of people out of poverty. This could make things very efficient, seamless, for humanity, but that is not the agenda. So if you look here, the main centers they're focusing on for the project in 2022, we've got Switzerland. Project Rio explores how central banks can use data streaming to monitor fast-paced electronic markets. The first phase built a prototype that collects and processes vast amount of foreign exchange data in real time. We know a lot of these exchanges are gonna be running on blockchain. It's nothing new. That's the agenda. You understand? It's nothing new. In Singapore, Project Ellipse builds a platform to help financial regulators to digitally extract, query, and analyze a large quantity of data from diverse sources, incorporating artificial intelligence and machine learning. Again, this is all about getting rid of a lot of these back end office guys, that's dealing with a lot of data and stuff like that to sort of understand market trends and all that. Mm-mm, they're gone. Blockchain will be handling it, and they'll just probably have a handful of people that will review the data the blockchain is providing. Moving on, we've got Hong Kong. A new project will explore whether DeFi technologies, blockchain tokenization, smart contracts, and customer identification can improve financing for small, medium enterprises, a historical underserved market segment. The main thing for me there is customer identification. A lot of people have this notion that, oh, because it's crypto, that they're going to be able to do things anonymously. No, that's not going to be the case. Yes, there will be certain blockchains and crypto that will offer some privacy, but the vast majority will not offer any sort of privacy, or whatever it is that people think they're gonna get. you know a lot of people are talking about, oh, blockchain is decentralized. Yes, finally we got a decentralized system whereby people can actually deal with each other directly and stuff like that. It just shows that people don't understand the technology or exactly what's going on, because anyone that really understands what's going on will know none of these blockchain technologies are decentralized. None of them. And if they are, guess what? They will not make it through the regulation. Once regulations start coming in, we've got 17,000 over 17,000 cryptos right now. Once regulations start coming in, they will disappear. All right? You you either get with the program or close up shop. The new world order don't play. You understand what I'm saying? The powers that be do not play. Understand that. Moving on. London. The London Centre's first project will consider how individuals and businesses can benefit from the development of central bank digital currency. Guys, London is the financial center of the entire world. You understand what I'm saying? It's a very, very big market. They handle a lot of things, both internally and externally, globally in general. You understand what I'm saying? So it makes sense that they really want to patent uh, central bank digital currency framework with London first, you know, before ISO is fully in place. And we know, again, the technology is in place. Again, we know that in the end, yes, the UK, the entire globe will be getting their own central bank digital currency, in each respective countries. But again, they always like to play hardball, make it seem like, we're not gonna do that. No. But in the end, they're gonna end up doing it. And lastly, we've got the Nordic Center starts out with two projects. One seeks to demonstrate how a holistic view of payment data could be used to detect illegal activities such as money laundering, tax evasion, and financing of terrorism. Again, this all have to do with no privacy. They gotta know what you're doing, but they don't want you to know what they're doing because they the real criminals. And of course, they don't want competition. That's why in the system, a fraudster will get, someone who deals in fraud or drugs or money laundering and stuff like that. They'll get more prison sentence than someone who's a rapist or a molester or a murderer or something like that. You understand? It's crazy. You mess with their money, they're gonna fuck you up, and that's the type of people these people are. You understand what I'm saying? So, anyways, a lot of this project is centered around the G20 countries, again, which makes sense. Those are the top 20 economies in the world. So that's where most of the money is. So that's where they're focusing on. Moving on, we've got envisioning a future of central bank digital currency. Now this is Visa. So Visa partners with consensus to help bridge CBDC networks with existing payment rails. One thing we know about consensus is they're part of the founding members of the ISO 20022, and consensus is linked to IBM Hyperledger Fabric, and which is linked to Corda R3. The system is essentially set up. They know what they're doing. They're ready to go. They are ready to go. All they need is a push of a button. But before they do that, they need the right crisis, guys, because they got to run all of this money out of the legacy system and put it in the hands of artificial intelligence. And at that point, there's no one to blame. You can't blame anyone. You can't. Who are you? You're gonna go to an algorithm and be like, oh, you can't. There's nobody to blame. All right, nobody. There will be nobody to blame. Moving on, we've got Google parent Alphabet announces 20-for-1 stock split. Guys, this is not financial advice. Nothing I say should ever be taken as a financial advice. Do your own due diligence. You understand what I'm saying? But right here, this is just letting us know how bad the economy is. You can pick up 20 shares for the price of one. Guys, that is a bargain, especially when it comes to Google and the alphabet boys. You understand what I'm saying? That is a bargain, and need I say more on that? You understand? So, guys, pack your bags. Them tech stocks, you don't want it to go to waste. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're gonna come right back up. Tech, energy, banking, health, uh, you know the rest. The things that make the economy work. Next, we've got Litecoin is finally launching its major Mimblewimble upgrade. Now, the Mimblewimble upgrade is to allow, some sort of a privacy transaction. So, after 2 years of development, Litecoin has finally launched its highly anticipated Mimblewimble upgrade, opening the door to more privacy-oriented transactions on the network. So, we know there are other blockchains like Monero that can allow you, to transact privately without appearing uh, on the public chain explorer. So, guys, there will only be a handful of these privacy tokens, and believe me, they're gonna get gobbled up. They will get gobbled up. You see, by the time a lot of this coin even reach a point, because we know we're heading into a huge correction towards the end of the year. We're not no, not even a huge correction, a huge crash. What we've got right now is just a minor correction. In my opinion, we're gonna start moving up by the end mid towards the mid end of February. We're gonna start moving up just like we saw. We're gonna move up all the way into April, and then from April you will start to see a decline again, similar to exactly what happened last year. You understand? Similar to that. Next, we've got Grayscale launches ETF of Bitcoin exposed companies, including PayPal, Coinbase. Guys, again, they're just expanding the casino. You understand what I'm saying? Remember, they're not ETF. You're not actually buying the asset. You understand what I'm saying? You're not buying the asset at all. However, Grayscale, with their funds, they buy the asset, and then people invest in, you know, the fund. You get what I'm saying? People trade the fund, which of course will have an impact on the underlying asset, but reduces the risk of the people trading that asset. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we're not we're not in a we're not in a crash, because if we're in a crash, hey, Grayscale ain't gonna be doing this. And we know Grayscale is they're one of the central bank's main puppets. You understand what I'm saying? They use Grayscale a lot to manipulate the market. So moving on, we've got significant wash trading, money laundering in NFT market, chain analysis. Blockchain analytics firm Chain Analysis has detected significant wash trading and money laundering throughout the NFT market. We know this. Anyone that understands the market, a lot of people see NFT and they're like thinking, "Ooh, I'll buy an NFT too, and it'll be worth 100,000, a million in a couple of days, a month." Guys, things don't work like that. When you see, when something is too good to be true, it is too good to be true. But people always want to ignore their instinct, their reality, and go for the lie instead, because it's easy to fall for lies. You understand what I'm saying? It's very, very easy to fall for lies. And look down here. Chain Analysis tracked wash trading by analyzing sales of NFTs to addresses that were self financed. You hear that, guys? In other words, sales that were funded either by the selling address or the address that initially funded the selling address. If that doesn't sound like money laundering to me, to you guys, then you need to jump on Google and do some research on how to manipulate the market. You understand what I'm saying? You need to do that. This is quite similar to what the central banks are doing with their quantitative easing. You understand what I'm saying? They pump money into the economy, and then they use that money to buy public security assets. That's a big scam. They're not. They should not be doing that. I've looked into quantitative easing several times, and I'm still like, nope, I can't see anything good with this. This does not make any sense. But again, all these guys with PhDs and masters in economics and whatever, finance, whatever they've studied not at these big universities, they'll argue with you and tell you that no, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's fine, it's this, it's that. It's fraud. The system's a scam. Moving on, we've got FTX acquires Liquid Group in major Eastern expansion. FTX is doing bits lately. You understand what I'm saying? FTX is just doing bits. You understand? And again, we know is all about adoption and centralizing the entire global market. You understand what I'm saying? So again, This is just the new world order extending their arms as usual, doing what they gotta do to set up the new digital economy. Moving on, we've got El Salvador relaunches Shivo wallet, plans to deploy 1,500 Bitcoin ATM. Again, guys, I just put this here just to show you that we are not in a bear market. We are not in a crash or anything like that. It's just a simple correction, and we're gonna start moving up in due time. And lastly, before we have a look at the crypto market, we've got crypto ads set to invade Super Bowl 56. The massive sport marketing push by crypto companies has never been as evident as it will be on your TV during Super Bowl. Guys, when you see it, when you see the images, you believe it. You see, even a lot of the older generations now, like our parents and stuff like that, they don't believe these things when you talk to them about it. They're like, well, what's that? What's crypto? What's this? What's that? You know, they're like skeptical. But when they start seeing it on TV, they'll believe it. When their banks start to send them messages, you know, pop-up messages in their banking app and so on and so forth, telling them, oh, you can now buy crypto directly from your bank, you know. That's when they're gonna get to it like, oh shit, this kids were right, you know. But we know the current system ain't for them anyways. A lot of them are reaching a point where they're just gonna retire. They just want to spend their money and chill. They don't really care about the economy like that anymore. You understand? A lot of this is for us, the millennials, Gen X, and Gen Z. So uh, uh, that's all the news we've got currently. So looking at the crypto market, we can see we moved down a bit. You know, nothing super duper major. A lot of the coins are recovering, and as we can see here, this list just keeps growing and growing and growing, and we know we're only gonna end up with about 10% of this. You understand? Market cap still seeing up 1.6. It's been hovering between 1.6 1.7, and volume again, that's quite low. Quick look at a Bitcoin. I like to, you know, use Bitcoin as the benchmark uh, for the crypto market. And as you can see here, this is on a daily chart. We we can say that's a retest. I wouldn't say that's a retest. However, we've just had a slight uptrend and we're heading back down. That's hence why I keep saying in all the previous videos as well, we haven't seen the end of this correction. I strongly believe we're gonna come to to test this long-term support before we do a reversal and start heading back up and set new all-time highs. And potentially, we could see Bitcoin touch. We could see Bitcoin touch 70, 80,000 potentially. You understand what I'm saying? That's a lot of money going in the market. A lot of money. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Remember, guys, please share with your friends, family, and loved ones because we all need to understand how the world really, really work. A lot of the things that the mainstream media, the government say, a lot of it is sugar coated. You know, they're not telling you the full story. If you want to know the full story, you have to go look up the stats for yourself. And when you look up the stats, you'll see that the stats it's why it's also important that you know you educate yourself on a lot of these things on how to you know basic maths and stuff like that, you know, adding subtracting, multiplying, dividing, you know, all of that jazz there, you know, percentages, increase, decrease, and percentage difference, and so on and so forth, you know, ratio. You have to get hip to these things because once you're able to analyze the stats yourself, you see that the narrative is not the same as what they're talking about. it's just not the same, you know. But they will always come out, talk a lot of crap. You go back and look at the numbers and you're like, huh, that doesn't make sense, that's not adding up. Yeah, that's because they're lying. They lie constantly. If the government say the sky is blue, you better go check and confirm that it's actually blue, because if you just believe them blindly, good luck with that. So, with all that being said, guys, peace, love, and light to every single one of you out there. I really, really appreciate the support. I just started out in this thing. It's only going to get better and better and better. There's a lot of things to talk about, a lot. But I think it's good to start with, this basic stuff first before we start going deeper into, things like why we don't actually have to pay for anything. But we live in a monopoly system. It's all a numbers game. So we think we have to pay for these things. You understand what I'm saying? So, guys, and that's not to say that we don't have to work. No, hey, the economy is still gotta be built. We still gotta set up, services and produce goods for ourselves to use to live comfortably and stuff like that. You understand? But none of us need to be poor. Nobody needs to lack anything. You know, there's over almost 7-8 billion people in the world. I guarantee you, we'll probably need less than a billion of that to make the economy work, to produce the things we need to produce, the goods and services in the economy. You know, not all of us need to work, but the system we live in it's a criminal system. You understand what I'm saying? So, anyways, guys, peace to you all. We'll catch you on another episode.